Welcome to Approach the Bar with Dancebeat. I am very excited to have with me one of my favorite ladies in dancing.
Thank you very much.
Miss Rita Gekhman-Algarra.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure and honor to be here with you, Chris.
Oh, you say all the right things, Rita. So we had a very exciting amateur ballroom competition last night, and in the 6th place we had Brenton and Alexandra from Canada. So what was your feelings on this young couple?
Very, very energetic, very committed couple to everything they do, which is a huge plus because you have to sell the product, right? On the other hand, I would like to see much more quality to everything they do. I would like to see a little bit more understanding of what this silly style of ours is all about. I would like to see them dealing with swing a little bit better, dealing with separation of rotation from rise and fall, and making it a little bit more three-dimensional. Basically organizing their dancing in a more clever way.
Okay. I know that I think I had them in the final in every dance last night. The only thing that I kept seeing was the hairpiece the lady had, and I'm like, okay, well, if I didn't like them, that may be something that would influence the way that I particularly would have marked them.
Not my cup of tea. I wouldn't put that size of the thing on my head, for sure. I was able to not pay attention to it, even though I didn't like it, but I understand that in generally the dress wouldn't be my choice as well, but I can see the image that the guys went for. I wasn't influenced by that. Other things came into play for me. I wasn't as generous with my marks into the final for this couple for other reasons, obviously. So you know what, if you want to do something special, go for it. So I respect them for trying. And you know, I'm sure that about this look, a lot of people would say either you love it or hate it. I wasn't a fan.
Yeah, but still, it was a good result for them to make that final last night.
I think so. I think so very much. For me, there was a couple of other couples, couple number 42, I don't remember their names, but for me, I would put them into final a little bit more organized couple. So I think they should be very pleased with their result yesterday.
Cool. Into 5th place last night, we had Vlad and Natalia from Vermont.
Vermont, yes.
I've never seen this couple before. And I didn't realize anybody danced in Vermont.
Right. I know this couple. I've seen them dance before in the United States, in England, in France. So I'm familiar with this couple a little bit more. And yes, my first reaction was, do people dance in Vermont? Apparently they also, besides hiking, also dance. And actually dance quite well.
Now, Vermont is a very nice place, by the way.
Yes,
so.
Yes, so no offense. But they definitely, for me, I had them higher than they finished. I would like Vlad to work on his head position. It's a little bit too much forward. His head is not supported by his back, and the shapes do not finish through the head shape that I would like for them to see. But overall, again, it's a good energy, good commitment to everything they do, quite organized performance for me.
Yeah.
The softness would be, you know, the additions of some softness and some shade and light to make it more how you say, dynamic.
Yeah.
That would be, because it's a little bit too much boom, 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 one energy. It needed a little bit of a softer approach at some points for me.
Yeah, it's funny because I'm not sure if I really saw them in the first round last night. And I don't know if I had them in the final in all dances. And it's one of those things where I can't actually put my finger on it, what I did like or didn't like. And I think in the final I probably had their marks all over the place.
Right, but you know, it's at the end of the day, it's not our job, that's what we say, it's not our job to notice people, right? At the end of the day, dancer's job to stand out.
Yeah.
And like I say always, champion pleases majority of the judges. So, you know, maybe that's something they should think about in the future, how to please all types of judges, standard specialists, Latin specialists, how to make their dancing. And I think that's something to do with dynamic, with different dynamic. Because when everything is monotone, maybe strong, but everything is on the same note. It's like, it's sometimes you stop seeing it because everything is a bit similar.
In the fourth place, coming from California, we had a very young couple, Kinsley and Michelle. What did you think about them?
You know, it's so funny for me to now see them in the amateur category because I've been watching those guys since they're junior 1 years. And that is quite mind-boggling. So they've always been very, very talented and very, very driven couple. And they still are. Very driven performance, very energetic. There's no nonsense approach to dancing. It's let's do it. And the girl is very feminine and she acts very mature. Together with this, I would like to see maturity in their dancing as well. For me, the swing is missing. There's a lot of times where I'm very aware of their moving leg activity in swing dances, which immediately, if I'm drawn to moving leg in swing dances, standing leg is not working. It means the body weight is not being moved around. It means that it's basically, I call it a matrix dancing. The leg is extending, the body is getting there a little bit. So that's what I was very aware of. Even though the shapes are spectacular, the flexibility of Michelle's back is spectacular. She's always been a very, very flexible girl. And Kinsley is such a little man, and he's playing this role really, really well. I just, again, a little bit similar energy everywhere. Quick step for me is a little bit too much hoppy and jumpy. There's no energy across the floor. So I think the maturity level is not there yet. So they've been, in a sense, their results has been a little bit given an advance to their future.
Yeah.
As that's what I felt, because definitely super talented couple with great and bright future, but
yeah, I loved them in the under 21.
yes, exactly, because it's their age
on Friday night.
Exactly.
And I think I had them in the finals in all of the dances last night, but they looked young. And they are young.
They are young, and they should look young. And I did have them. At the end of the day, they were my last couple to bring into the final, because that's how I usually operate. I get into the final couples that I absolutely certain that they are making the final. And Kinsley and Michelle always were making it the last, because when I would look around into the semifinals searching for that last couple, they would stand out with their energy and youthful joy from dancing. And that's what basically we are suckers for, isn't it? We're suckers for people that love dancing. And Michelle and Kinsley always give me this feeling that they genuinely love dancing. And guess what? It's working.
Yeah,
they're doing something right, isn't it?
Totally right. So we get to third place. Coming down from Massachusetts, we had Fernando and Nicole. What do you feel?
That would be the example of couple where I would love to see from the Spaniard. I'm married to one, so I know there is passion there. I know for sure. I would like to see it coming out. For me, it's a bit subdued. For me, it's not enough personality coming out. And I feel like Nicole needs to start working a little bit more on the flexibility of her back, finishing all the shapes that come in from Fernando, and feeling the necessity to wait for the time to finish the line. So, as I always say, the girl has to be available, but very reluctant. The reluctant part, I don't think, is there yet. I feel like Nicole is actually just doing her part, shaping whatever she feels like she's supposed to shape, instead of giving Fernando a chance to lead and give the signal. And then when the whole thing comes alive, isn't it? When it's a conversation between two bodies. That's what I feel. And definitely for me, not enough personality shining through. Do you agree with me?
Well, it's funny because I looked at him last night and I thought that he put in a very mature performance.
True.
So I liked that compared to some of the frantic stuff that was going on around them. But I totally understand why you would have your opinion.
Matured, I agree with you 100% compared to, Kinsley and Michelle. It's totally different spectrum. So yes, I agree with you, but mature does not mean boring. And I was borderline bored.
Yeah.
I was borderline questioning, are you bored yourself? So maybe I just looked at them at the moments where, it was just not the most expressive moments. But you know what, I always was careful about our style, and I'm a standard specialist. I was always very careful not to come across as boring style. And ourselves, with our history, with our show dances and everything, we always tried to push the boundaries and show people that standard can be exciting.
Yeah.
Standard can be lovely and different and passionate. And if you hate someone, show it through your dancing. If you love someone, show it through your dancing. So that's what I'm missing. I'm missing emotions, because at the end of the day, we're people, right? We want to be present at the party. And party you have to show something. That's what I felt would be for them beneficial to explore.
Finishing second, coming all the way from Poland, we had Bartosz and Cornelia. And I hope I said your name right, mate.
Yeah, I thought so too. I think S and Z in Polish would pronounce as S. So as S, sh. Yeah, it's sh. So forgive us if we messed up your name. I actually love this couple. I see them for the first time. I might have seen them before, but I don't think I recognize them from my previous experience. In my opinion, this is a very good example of showing the maturity and expressing the character of every dance. I would say for me, the gentleman was the most expressive through his head position, finishing every shape. I would say in this couple, and I hate saying this because I'm this type of woman, probably, I actually was more aware of the gentleman than lady in this partnership. And I would like to see Cornelia taking more individual and independent approach to her own dancing. And I think that would be a great way for them to improve. Because if I'm seeing a gentleman, it means the lady is not being powerful enough and independent enough in her own decisions. Just the fact that we're following does not mean we are not dancing and we are not expressing ourselves. And that what, for me, always the great ladies had managed and mastered is the ability to follow in the directions and timings and let the men change and be great at their floor craft, and together with this never lose their personalities. And that's what great ladies of dance always manage to do. Karen and Anne and Katusha and all of them. Look at all the Vicky and Janet and Bobby and all those examples. Those ladies, yeah, they followed, but the personality always shines through. And when you look at them, at the couple, you always see Marcus and Karen, you always see Richard and Janet. So you always notice a lady, and that's what, at this point, Cornelia needs, in my opinion, is to find herself.
So this may be interesting. Obviously, I really didn't know anybody in that competition last night. So when you're out there, you don't know what form is. You don't know.
That's the best, isn't it? That's the best.
This couple, I saw them once or twice. Okay, and I was like, God, that's good. I don't know what was good, but just that's good. And then I didn't see them again.
And that's what I feel.
And maybe that's because...
Yes, because I always, we all say, man is very important in standard partnership. And I agree, because without good, solid, coordinated male dancer, we're not going to go anywhere. But without great lady that understands her own strengths and understands her own dancing and her own personality, you won't notice the couple.
So winning the competition last night, we have Dan and Anna, who actually won the under-21 as well on Friday evening. Okay, can't wait to hear what you say about this couple.
See, that is a phenomenal example of young couple, because if they're under 21, so they're not even, out of their teens, basically. Maybe one of them is 20, I'm not so sure. But the level of maturity and understanding is phenomenal. I know this couple as individual dancers being in partnerships with other people. I know Anya again since she was a baby, so she grew in front of my eyes. I noticed Dan for the last couple of years in my travel to England for Blackpool International UK. I've noticed Dan with his other partners, and I love both of them in their respective partnerships. But now seeing them together, I feel like they complement each other in the best possible way. And Anna is the example of the girl that was a little bit in the shadow of her previous partner, where Patrick always was considered as a star, and Anna was always on the second place. And now when Anna is with the right partner, we can see how much a star she really is. What an understanding of the lady's role in standard. Soft when she needs to be soft, powerful when she needs to be powerful, very responsive, very playful, I would say so. Absolutely. And then also you can see that they genuinely like each other now. They genuinely like dancing together, period. And you can see it in their dancing. And Dan is just such a gentleman. That's all I can tell. And the way he just makes Anna, he always presents her in the best possible way, how he steps back after each dance and lets Anna have it with audience, and audience just eating from his hand basically, because everybody is now seeing a woman, and that's the real class of a man. It's the real class of a man to present his partner to the way that everybody notices only partner. It's all his. He's like a magician. It's a trick of his hand. Love it. Swing the most light, gorgeous movement across the floor. I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, I was as well. The other thing I noticed, I thought his floor craft was excellent, because I don't know about you, but I'm frightened watching some of these kids dance now. It's so dangerous. They just do not seem to have a clue where they're going. They're out of control, and he really kept her safe last night.
Quality of movement, quality of communicating between two of them. And that's what we say, being available but reluctant. If she could give him time to decide on changes of direction, on changes of routine, she didn't have her routine in mind. She was just dancing with him. And he had such a confidence in her that he was just, it's a class, isn't it? Champion will always look that he has time. Champion will always find space. That was pure example.
We agree, totally.
Totally.
How about that?
For once.
For once, yes. Well, Rita, thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak to us.
I just want to apologize for my voice. The quality of my voice is terrible. I've been teaching too much, 10 lessons a day, and it takes a toll. So I'm so sorry for you bearing with my terrible voice, but it's my honor and my pleasure that you guys needed to hear my humble opinion.
We all needed to hear your humble opinion. So guys, we will be getting you more information about New York Dance Festival 2017. So just keep watching us. Thank you.
Thank you.